Let's go for a burial in Stage 8, Shifting Sandland. It's very fitting that it's a desert theme because if I'm going to be honest, this stage is mostly rough and coarse and irritating. The boss inside the pyramid stands is the one thing I actually liked. It's the sort of attack the eyes of the hands mechanic that a few Zelda games would later use. Now the quicksand, rotating blocks, other hazards, that stuff I can understand and has been in other stages. However, there's also a bird that straight up steals your cap, so unless you want to go the game taking double damage, gonna have to hop up to a pillar to get it back. Now, I'm not going to say it's the absolute worst in existence, but it felt like swallowing a lot of sand, irritation and coughing, and wishing it was sugar instead. It's time to feel so very small in Stage 12, Tall Mountain. I'm starting to think this team was just running out of ideas by this stage because it's pretty similar to another certain mountain, including a secret slide. The monkey is probably the one actually unique element, but it just boils down to another enemy you have to grab to get a star that might also steal your cap. No, I'm not saying this is a terrible stage. Overcoming a mountain is pretty exciting, hence why Mount Everest is such a profitable place. However, it comes across as filler, something cheap they slapped together that isn't exactly all that original. They copied the homework too closely. It may feel more pure in its platforming, kinda, but it doesn't seem like there's enough there. It's literally a mountain and a slide inside said mountain. It's time to feel the frostbite chills in Stage 4, Cool Mountain. This is definitely a skill check stage with easy to fall death pits, racing down ice paths, and even one I never got requiring really precise wall kicks. Having to get the penguin baby to its mama is probably one of the easier stars to get, but at least you can quickly get a few lives in the cottage if you're running low. But I know you'll probably just throw the baby over the ledge, you sadistic little weasel, you. There's even a star that involves causing a head to roll. The head of a snowman, that is, which you have to guide to the rest of him. Basically, this is very much when the game takes a sharp increase in difficulty if you expect to get any, let alone all the stars, and one of them was too much for me. It's time to descend into the depths in Stage 11, Wet Dry World. This is basically the water temple of Mario, so you're going to be changing the water level a lot of times and dealing with giant bugs skidding across water. The underground town is pretty neat, even if it's basically just finding some red coins and dirt blocks and racing to a cage with a vanish cap to platform to a star. Probably the most memorable thing is pulling a lift down so you can quickly double jump onto it from under a cage to ride it up to a star. Other than that, it's kind of a shrug to me. It's there, it's got the flippy dudes, it's an alright stage. It, perhaps more than any of the others, embodies the quality of water as a drink. It's inoffensive and gets the job done, but it's not exactly the most exciting. It's time to surf across time in Stage 14, Tick-Tock Clock. At first glance, this looks like yet another ascend the mountain to get the stars, and this sort of is, but it's aesthetically very different. It also has the unique wrinkle of having a lot of gadgets turning and spinning, so you've got conveyor belts and spinning blocks and rotating clock hands to deal with. To its credit, this prevents it from feeling samey since it's actually much trickier to get up and makes every little bit you make it up that much more rewarding. Only a shame there isn't any kind of boss at the top since I feel like it was practically begging for one, just a thwomp to ride up. Still, the platforming is a lot more unique than some. It's not just climbing but actually timing out your jumps so you actually have to use your brain. It's time to get poisoned in Stage 6, Hazy Maze Cave. This sort of feels like Gyarados training grounds before it existed, but not in a bad way. It has several split-off obstacle courses instead of one unified area like the previous stages. There's even the Loch Ness Monster chilling down there, willing to give you a lift, and all for the pretty low price of just Tree Fitty. The stage doesn't have any trick wall kick jumps this time, just a long jump, and if you don't know how to do one of those, now's the time to learn it. This is also a good stage if you're a fan of heavy metal, because it unlocks the metal cap, making you an unstoppable metal menace even to poison. Very reasonable stage with a decent amount of challenge, but not enough to make you throw your controller through the wall and then have to explain the hull to the landlord or anything. It's time to conquer matter in Stage 13, Tiny Huge Island. This stage is probably as close as you can get to Duke Nukem, and then you can switch between a massive Adonis and a teensy-weensy little guy. Gotta be honest, this stage annoyed the crap out of me when I first played it, but I since picked up on some tricks, so it's more like a skill check. On the face of it, this is another mountain climb, but at least shrinking and growing gives it a unique twist. It's genuinely not a cheap clone. Stomping on the Wiggler and rematching Koopa the Quick is also pretty satisfying, and the concept of stomping out a pool of water is pretty neat. Basically, the tiny huge part of it is the main gimmick, which it works because I definitely remembered it a lot more than some of the others. It's time to blow big and blow hard in Stage 1, Bob-Omb Battlefield. This stage teaches a few things about the game, namely scaling vertical structures, avoiding obstacles, throwing enemies, firing out of a cannon, and also pink equals good. Technically, one of the stars wants you to come back with a wing cap, but you can brute force it with the cannons. You can also get 1 star by unleashing a bloodthirsty big metal ball full of teeth on the world because I guess Mario has embraced chaos, and I don't blame him. Also, King Bob-Omb won't let you cheat. He'll actually call you out if you try to throw him off the mountain. Gotta do things the hard way. Pretty good starting stage about scaling a mountain, engaging in colored warfare, and unleashing man-made terrors beyond comprehension on the world. It's time to sink in the lava in Stage 7, Lethal Lava Land. I think I can say without a doubt that this stage is sizzling hot with the horned bullies, the spitting fire, and obviously the boiling cherry Kool-Aid. What constitutes most of the stage's difficulty is Mario running around like a lemming when he's set on fire, apparently not realizing that airing fire kinda makes things worse. When you're bored of punching giant black balls into the red-hot lava, you can always play a sliding puzzle of Bowser while grabbing red coins. Still nothing as tough as having to kick jump off walls, but the threat of Mario burning his thick Italian buns off still provides its own challenge. Overall, the stage does exactly as you'd expect it to, and there's enough hazards to really give it some challenge if you don't come in ready. It's time to honor the sky in Stage 15, Rainbow Ride. You may think from the name it's a Wizard of Oz reference, but it's actually an Aladdin one because you're spending most of the time riding magic carpets. It's also a whole new world of difficulty in its platforming since you're far up in the sky, so one wrong move and you're falling faster than Dorothy's house. There's even a pirate ship floating through the sky with a lot of wind blowing through it, so it's not much of a safety platform and you need to wall jump to reach a pink bomb. There's even a ride through a castle leading to one of the stars, complete with fireplace. Still not one of the best stages, but it actually feels more complete than just another Ascend the Mountain, and it's definitely hard enough to be a fitting finale for the normal stages. It's time to trek through the ectoplasm in Stage 5, Big Boo's Haunt. Now this stage could even be described as a secret stage because you have to beat a Boo just to gain access to it, which isn't as obvious as a painting. This is also the stage where you get the infamous piano monster, which I'm going to say now is impossible to kill, so don't even try. Learn from my and other people's mistake. This stage isn't nearly as skill demanding as Cool, but it's not going to go too easy on you given you have to jump kick up to Big Boo and then still navigate to the actual star after that. It also makes good use of the Vanish Cap, which fits thematically because, you know, disappearing ghosts. It's a good one, clearly going for the spooky spooks and having a good amount of dangers you have to get through. It's time to freeze in our sweat in Stage 10, Snowman's Land. This one's pretty good, so much more fun for me to play through than that other snow-themed world. I actually wouldn't give this one the cold shoulder. You may also be able to lose your cap, but the difference is you can actually get it back so much easier since it usually wisps right next to you. It also seems to have elements of some other stages because there's a big bully to overcome and a Vanish Cap for clipping through ice. Bouncing off one of the spinners to twirl up to a star and a lot of red coins was the kind of challenge I liked, just enough but also pretty chill. Overall, definitely the much cooler snow-themed stage, not that that's saying a whole lot when you consider the iced-over competition. It's time to open up a big old can in Stage 2, Whomp's Fortress. It's the fortress where you're bonking Whomps, avoiding thwomps, and giving Sleepy Boy plants a very rude awakening with your gloved fist. One of the stars is actually pretty tricky, requiring pretty precise cannon shooting so you can get it inside of a small cage, so if you want all of them, you better get ready for Trial and his good friend Error. There's even one that has you chipping a ledge with your head to get at a star that's hiding in it. It's a good thing Mario's skull is so extra thick! Mario isn't the only one using his head either because the stage ends up having bullet bills on it when it's time to get the second star on the stage. Their heads must be full of bricks though because they weren't tough. For being the second stage in the game, it sure does escalate things pretty fast with a death pit sky, precision shots, and forcing you to actually use that analog stick if you don't want to be a hungry playing Snake's dinner. It's time to inspect Peach's personal chambers in Princess Peach's castle. This is the Grand Central Hub, the point at which you access all the other stages and also has its own secret stars and stages. It's also where you access all the Bowser fights, which basically boil down to grab Bowser's tail and twirl him into a nearby bomb.
So long, Bowser!
The fact that it not only has entire stages in secret, but sections with its own stars, more than qualifies it to be seen as a stage in its own right. To that end, it actually has a fairly chunky amount of content to it, and I'm not afraid to admit I had to look up how to get the wing cap. As a hub, it more than fulfills its role with plenty to do in an extensive outdoor area. It's the first impression of the game and they clearly went in swinging.
It's time to stay salty in Stage 9, Dire Docks.
This very much feels like a refresher stage, and not just because of the abundant amount of the good old H2O, it's as you'd expect flooded in. Other than a pretty easily avoided jet stream, it's pretty easy going here as you hop shifting poles for red coins and use the vanish and metal caps to get to stars. It's even tied in with a Bowser boss because you have to board his sub and steal his star to activate the fight with him, and is gone when you beat him. 2 of them flat out require you to go through enough rings to make the star appear, and unlike Superman 64, won't make you regret your life choices. Overall, very good stage for gameplay and theme, not the hardest ever, but it's not like losing lives has any real meaning in this game. It's time to feel the R in Stage 3, Jolly Roger Bay. Now right off the bat, I'm very biased in favor of this one because me and nautical themes kinda go hand in hand, especially pirate ones. It's also kind of funny how Mario 64 makes the health bar the oxygen bar, so servicing always refills your health if you can make it back up in time or find an air bubble. If I thought the last one had trial and error, this one has 2 stars literally revolving around opening chests in the right order, jolting you if you choose wrong. This is also the first one where you can't get everything right away because you need the metal cap to get one unless you use a trick or something. Despite the swimming mechanics not being the sharpest, I absolutely cannot deny the map's great theme and decent rise and challenge despite some RNG.
It's time to overview the spicy meatball.
Call me crazy, but I think my taste in the stages might be slightly biased, given 2 of them have very strong nautical themes. Nah, but really, my favorite of the stages tend to be a little more open-ended and not having gimmicks that actively annoy me. A few of them just straight up feel like repeats with just ascending a tall thing like a mountain. It's like they completely ran dry out of ideas partially in. Losing Mario's cap is a mechanic I didn't appreciate, but at least 2 of the 3 cases make it pretty easy to get back. Overall, the main stages are mostly just fine, and the live system makes even the more difficult ones relatively trivial since you can get so many of them. Even if it's aged a bit, I'd say it more often than not has some good map design and can certainly be applauded for taking risks.